Hello, everybody. This is your host again, Larry Hernandez, and I promised you a video showing you a couple of different tools and sites when you're doing competitive intelligence or org charting or getting a lay of the land before you start sourcing. Now, before we start jumping into the tools, I'm just trying to show you what you can do on a budget. There are some bigger tools that you can get, but if you're watching this video, you're probably like me, just trying to keep things on a budget and build a good kind of a good foundation. The reason you would be doing this is at the start of a search, especially a key search, or if you have found 3 or 4 target companies that maybe your sourcing manager or TA manager says, hey, everybody get a competitor, and every month you can present it one-on-one, and you can kind of track that. So we're moving from the tactical way of looking at sourcing, which is find the keywords of a person, email them, find a keyword of a person, email them, and kind of zooming out a little bit and saying, before we start sourcing, what are some target companies, industries that we can become experts at and start following. So I'm going to start with one of my favorite tools, which is Chartloop. Now, for all these examples, I've just picked AirBNB randomly. Okay, I have nothing to do with Airbnb. I just wanted to pick something that everybody knew. So Chartloop is a newer tool, and I think it has a lot of potential. Personally, I don't think it's there yet, especially for the money. For a project that I did for competitive intelligence through RecruiterDNA, I paid $99 a month for this, but we'll go into that later. Let me just show you what you can do. So with Chartloop, you go to add a company, you put the company's website in, and then you hit go, and it's going to ask you a couple of questions like, do you just want the engineering group, the product group, the marketing group, the HR group, and what geographies do you want? Do you want US? Do you want international? And do you want full team, directors, or senior leaders, right? So that's kind of cool. It works on a point system. Like you buy, for $99, you get like 3,000 points or something like that. That's not right, and it's kind of unclear to me what you're getting, because when I put Airbnb in, and this only took several minutes, it has this nice chart, right? Now, this is basically a big picture, but it just, to me, I'm a visual person. I just felt great when I saw this, like, look at me, look what I've done. And so that's cool. So it builds it out the best it can. All it's doing is it's looking at LinkedIn and then doing a basic, basic logic, saying like, if you have a C-level position, put up top. If you have, it kind of just guesses directors go from here. It separates them out based on the cities, California, Washington. I think it's a great way to start. It's just, unfortunately, I think you get a free trial, but I think the starting deal is like $29, and I think you can only get like one org chart a month or something. Anyway, and the downside is that on the actual search that I was doing, I happened to start with other tools and doing research, and it didn't really reflect, like it was missing whole departments. So just like any other tool, there's nothing out there that's foolproof, but what a great step. The things that I like about it when you're paying is that you can click on the person, it gives you their LinkedIn profile, it'll try to find their picture, and it'll load the contact for you. Let's just hit load. So it'll try to find phone number and email. That's great when you're org charting a company. Okay, you can export this chart, and you can export it into an Excel or CVS file, and then you can start making adjustments, right? You can start, it's a good starting port to go. And then once you fix it, as long as you follow that format, you can upload it back, and it'll start reflecting, the real org chart, and it's private for you to share. To share it like this, it's just a huge image file, like a big PNG file. You could convert it to an Adobe profile. But I like what they're doing. I haven't met the owner yet. I love what they're doing. Just for the price right now, oof, it's tough. So that's cool. Oh, and you can kind of move things around, right? It's very visual, and you can, you know, anyway, you get the hint. So that's kind of cool, right? Now the second one, I'm going now. There's a hodgepodge of tools before I get to the paid ones. This is new, and I would just save these under a folder like I do called org charting or org researching tools. So Airbnb, this is corporation wiki. Every site's going to give you a little bit about the company. Unfortunately, not all of them are up to date, but this I thought was cool. Once again, kind of a visual tool. I didn't use this too much, but this kind of gives you a general, key people, who's who. If you're looking for executive search, there's so many free tools out there that have, that have stuff. If it's a publicly held company, you can get their board of directors, their C-level deal. But yeah, so this is another tool. Play with it. The reason I use all of these is because you never know what you're going to get. So I just open them all up in a tab. I put Airbnb, and then I save them to whatever you're using for research, Evernote or whatever it may be. I like this one, the official board. It's a free tool. It doesn't look great. These guys have been around for a long time. But the fact that there's a lot of pre-done org charts is really kind of cool. And then, Airbnb, everyone's going to do it. As you start looking for smaller or medium companies, it just might not be there. But once again, you can get these, and you can, if you subscribe, print or download, but you can kind of, I like it. It has some cool stuff. Owler is a good one. If we knew we were going to be watching Airbnb for a while, you can sign up and you can kind of follow the company. Like, when I was doing stuff for Microsoft, I would follow Amazon. If you're working for Amazon, you're going to be following Microsoft. But you kind of follow it, and it'll kind of send you stuff on the news feed like, oh, there's layoffs, or, it kind of keeps you in the loop of what's going on. Let's see. I use these when I'm building my competitor list. Sometimes you might not know who the competitors are. A position might open up at your company. Maybe you're new to the company, or maybe you're contracting, and you're like, I'm not exact. I know some of the competitors, but I might not know who. So some of these, like Owler, will give you here are similar companies, right? Here's 21 companies that are similar. And some of these will start giving you acquisition, who they bought out, news and insights, things like that. Let's see the next one. Okay, we're going to skip to a paid tool. Everyone probably knows this tool. It's been around forever. It's had some iterations. ZoomInfo. Beware, when you sign up on the free trial, you're going to be getting several calls in seconds, but hey, they're giving you a free trial. ZoomInfo has acquired Discover.org, and I don't have Discover.org up here, but for those of you who have used Discover.org, these were the org chart people. But now, as I look at Airbnb, ZoomInfo has a nice layout. It's friendly to the eyes. You've got competitors, right? You have this little Airbnb org chart. This is why they bought Discover.org, is to kind of fill this in. Now, I'm on the free trial. I'm on the third free trial. Thank you, ZoomInfo. So I can't really click on it. And I've talked to the reps. I'm like, I'm not going to spend $10,000 a year or so. The stuff that I wanted wasn't there. They said it wasn't there because I'm on the free trial. So that's fair. That's fair, but it's trying to get this deal. You get a lot of information. You get the revenue numbers. You can get their competition, who the big players are. Let's see. Company insights, all that good stuff. Now, just right now, let me stop and say, what I'm getting here, and if I stop and look at LinkedIn Sales Navigator, which I had never really used. I am not a Sales Navigator user. Every once in a while, when my personal account is up for renewal, I'm like, oh yeah, let's do Sales Navigator. It's gonna change everything. And then I get it and I'm not used to it. So I go to Recruiter Lite. This time I've committed to Sales Navigator, and it's good if you've made that switch to account-driven sourcing instead of candidate-driven sourcing. That's a big deal. Shifting from I have a candidate, I have a resume, to I have found a company or a department within one of our competitors that we can attack. So looking at this very expensive tool, and then you go to Sales Navigator, and you've got the same basic deal, right? You've got Sales Navigator started to do this org map. Looks a lot like ZoomInfo when they're doing the org chart. And this is kind of cool. So this is an account map. You can move this around. You get 3 tiers, right? So you get tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. It says use this for C-suite, managers, but you can, if I was just looking for product people, I can come in here on the left and start finding people and then add them to my map and then move them around. You get 10 contacts per tier. So, 30 people on a map, it starts to fill up and you really can't print it. I mean, I went as save as. This is kind of an iframe or a website within a website. So you maybe take a screenshot, but it is good, to kind of organize. I think they're going to put a lot more money in here. They've got the deal. Like if you click on somebody, it says here, add manager, right? So you can start adding manager. I've added the managers. For me, I don't see the significance of it, but I'm sure it will play a part. And sorry, I'm going fast. I just wanted to get this video to you before I forgot and before a lot of my free trials went away. So ZoomInfo, you got insights. Some of this looks familiar depending on what LinkedIn package, but on some of the competitive intelligence reports I do, people want to know what's that headcount looking like. What is the distribution of headcount? This is vital. So we know they have 13,000 employees on LinkedIn. How does that break out, right? And then new hires, and then job openings. Everything, all the core things you need to build out a talent map. Because when you're building out a talent map, you want to sit there and say, let's say before the intake, or if you're doing some kind of meeting with VP level, you want to explain the landscape. Like, we're hiring 30, 40, 100, whatever it is, software developers, and we're competing against Airbnb. Let's see what they're looking like. In other words, why would a candidate pick us over Airbnb? Let me kind of explain and show you the layout. What regions are they in? Do they work remote? What's their tech stack? Here are their latest hires. Where are they hiring from? Anyway, so this is all kind of a holistic approach. I like that it says, here are some of the competitors. You can sign up for alerts. So I mean, that's not bad. I kind of like this, right? I've already got it, and you can add notes, and you can kind of poke around. So that's not bad compared to ZoomInfo. Let me see if we have any other. Okay, so this is Crunchbase. Very similar deal. Crunchbase, ZoomInfo. Well, not really, but it's more like Owler or Dun & Bradstreet. When you're looking at what are the financials of a company. I got Crunchbase. I got Crunchbase because I was interviewing for a very, 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 very high level position at Facebook. And just to go through the interview process, this was a while ago, I had to create all these org charts, and it was a nightmare. Nightmares, and it was a lot of work, right? But they were like, we don't want you using LinkedIn. So I'm like, okay. And I'd never really used the paid version. I paid for this for a year, and it gives you a good broad view, financials, acquisitions, people. Yeah, it gives you the executive team. It gives you but you could find this everywhere, right? Technology, a lot of these places, these websites are going to say, oh, we have the technology, and that they're all done by like G2 or these other ones. And it's not really for like a technical recruiter unless you're on doing like the analytics team or their e-commerce site. It doesn't really give you the technical stack. It gives you, the goofy HTML, Google Analytics, whatever their website is using. You do get signals and news. I guess the upside to to Crunchbase is you can pull lists of companies and then export them to Excel. I have found that very useful. So I can make a list. I can start looking at, companies and say, give me, let's build something that has all their competitors, how many number of employees, where they're headquartered, and then export that out. And then that could be the start of a report, right? It's not bad unless you're doing executive search. I probably wouldn't pay for it. Now, once again, sorry I'm going so fast. I just want to get this to you. I like Uplead. Uplead is more of a competitor to Zoom Info. And what you're doing is you're getting a lot of business related data. So Uplead is a lot cheaper than Zoom Info. And they're hungry for business right now. So like I said, that they've extended my free trial. I really appreciate that. They give you credits. But here you can go to, it gives you that basic information that you could find anywhere. But when you go to people search and you pick AirBNB, did something wrong, contact search. What have I done wrong here? Contacts by company URL, but we've already got it. Well, anyway, you can see here, you can start saying, give me the titles, search by title, right? You can do by location. This is searching for companies. But what you can do is get whole lists of people, pop them in here, and you can scrape them out if you have a data scraper. I scraped all these out and went right into Excel. You could pay for it, and then I can't download these unless I've got points. But if you wanted to, you would go here to that software team, unlock, and now you've got, if we look at, I like the way this looks. I've got their Facebook, their LinkedIn. I've got his work number, a mobile number. I like the way it kind of gives you, it's just pulling from LinkedIn, but it kind of gives you, it's a nice, I wish like an ATS would look like this. It's just nice to the eyes, right? And then you just keep on trucking, right? So you can add them to a list. You can export it. I like, for this type of work, I really like the way this looks. Let me see. Keep in mind, Uplead, Zoom Info, they have a Chrome extension where you can contact people. Or if you were in LinkedIn, like Uplead has a very extensive Chrome app that lives when you're on LinkedIn. It adds a whole layer out, which is maybe a different video. Let me see. Seamless is a newer player. Their whole claim to fame is that with Zoom Info and all these other places, you're paying for a lot of data, but then when you email them, it bounces and it hurts your domain, right? You get caught, your company domain like at RecruiterDNA gets pinged for spam. So a lot of your emails don't go to the inbox. So Seamless actually, they say that they check all the emails and they check all the numbers. So it's valid. It's very much like Uplead and Zoom Info. The problem I found, and right now I can't log in, they said that they've updated my free trial, but it's not working. But the thing was, the numbers were real, but they were wrong. So it was like, it was okay. I would stick to Uplead. Sorry, I can't do Seamless demo. I'll try to add it on later. Yeah. So sorry this went so fast. This is just, this is for you, the members of RecruiterDNA. I can make more videos on, this is fine, the tools, but I think the real learning is why are you doing it? How are you doing it? And what are you going to do with the information? So hope you've enjoyed it. Hope everyone's doing well, and make a comment. Thanks.